I am Engineer S.C. Yunusa, the representative of Kaduna State. As shown in the agenda, mine is just to welcome all participants and the guests. And unfortunately, the guest is not yet on board. That is the guest lecturer is not yet on board. Okay, I can see Abdul Majid's iPhone. I think is the guest lecturer. I'm not sure. If he is, you are welcome on board, sir. Mala Abdul Majid Abubakar, you are welcome. As we all know, we have a global threat, which is the climate change. It's a global threat, and it's being induced by anthropogenic activities, human activities, deforestation, burning of fossils, industrialization, land expansion, and so on. If you take Nigeria, for example, we are losing about 3% of our forest land annually. That is about 300,000 hectares is being lost annually due to land use changes, collection of fuel wood, and other anthropogenic activities. So people are fully engaged in these anthropogenic activities, and they are not being mindful of the consequence. So currently, we are experiencing so many impacts of climate change in the country. Extreme heat, we have erratic rainfall pattern, we have drought, flooding in many parts of the country, and what have you. So it's now imperative upon us to act now. If not, we'll be experiencing more and more in the nearest future. So the guest speaker, Mr. Abdul Majid Abubakar, is an expert in this aspect, and I believe he will do justice to the topic. I've gone through his profile, and he has experience in environmental affairs. He's the founder of Eye on the Environment Initiative at Bayero University, Kano. So I believe he will do justice to the topic. So you are welcome, Mala Abdul Majid Abubakar. Let me hand over to the moderator so that we continue the program because we are behind schedule. And sorry for commencing late. Welcome on board, everybody. Good morning once more. Thank you.
Good morning, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yunus. Let me get the opening statement.
Where are we, please? Mala Aliu, can we continue, please?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Yunusa, for the nice introduction. And as Mr. Yunusa already said, climate change is a global issue we are currently facing, right from floods, deforestation, and even drying up of wells, drying up of water aquifers, and in places where there is a high lot of ice, there is high metal of ice currently. So join us in this wonderful discussion as we discuss with one of the global advocates of climate, Mr. Abdul Majid, on the topic climate change, why we must act now. So Mr. Abdul Majid, welcome aboard, and the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
And
sir.
I'm very sorry I joined very late. As I was introduced as the guest speaker and was given a topic to talk on climate change and why we must act now. And as Mr. Yunus started with the background introduction, like what climate change is. We all know what climate change is, and what are the causes and what are the impact, like the consequences. So, climate change is as a result of our actions and inactions. We human beings are the main cause that are the main people that leads to climate change. And how do we do that? We are shying away from our responsibilities. We are not doing what we are supposed to be doing. And at the same time, we are doing things we are not supposed to be doing, and we are not doing things we are supposed to be doing. Why do I say that? Because the climate, it's just like the human body, just like you and I. You go to the hospital and they will advise you not to be taking too much sugar, not to be taking too much fat, red meats, and what have you. But then you feel like you're still working and you're still alive. You don't need all those things. So you'll be eating those things that they say you should not be eating. So this is exactly what we're doing to the climate, or rather the environment. We are not supposed to be cutting down the trees, and we are not supposed to be throwing out trash anyhow, and we are supposed to be living green, because that's the only thing that will like protect the environment. But yet we fail to do it because we are too skeptical when it comes to climate change. We believe like the climate is very okay, and there's nothing happening to the climate. It's just like a mere statement. So that is what brought about climate change. Now, why do we said we must act? We must act now. We should act. We said we must act now because there's no time, and the time is now. Because if what is happening today continue the way it is, the future will not be like favorable to each and every one. I will begin with two stories. I think I'm one. In 2013, I was opportune to be posted to a remote village where, as a classroom teacher, uh, down there in Jigawa State, a place called Megatari. So as I'm going there, I find it very difficult going with the car because you get stuck by the sand dunes there, because Megatari it's like at the border of Nigeria and Niger Republic. So there's sand dunes there, so it will hold the car. So it reached a point like I'll leave the car by the roadside and trek down to the school. By trekking, I also find it very difficult because you can't walk normally. And also, I once took bike, and the bike person like somersault because of the sand dunes. So I was discussing the issue with with one of like the our junior staffs there, like what is happening in this particular school. Like, if the school just like that for a very long time? Is it like that? And he said that that particular piece of land happens to be a fertile land. It used to be like the farmland of his grandparents. His parents used to go there and plant uh, greens there, and he also used to be there. But as time goes on, desert encroach, and the place is no more fertile. That is why they had to give out the land, and the government bought the land and give it, make it a school. So this is one instances. So the second one, uh, as a northerner, and I need to earn a living. I want things to go right, so I engage myself in rice farming. Uh, I used to I used to like engage in rainfed, irrigation farming, rice irrigation farming. When I do that, I made a lot of money out of it, and I had to took loan somewhere else and join it with the money I normally get when I plant those particular rice and inject the money all into rain-fed agriculture. And unfortunately, flood water came away and washed everything, leaving me with nothing. So as a student, then I found it very difficult to pay back the money because I don't have any other way to do that. So these are two instances that says, for me, climate change is real, and we need to do something. We just can't fold our arms because if what is happening to me, I believe is happening to so many teeming youths out there, and we all believe it is the consequences of climate change. So we need to do something to address this particular menace. We need to curtail climate change. We need to make sure that things like this doesn't happen to myself and our unborn children. If these things will happen to me, then look at it. What will happen in the near future? What will happen to our kids? What will happen to our great grandchildren? So that is why we need to act now. How do I come on board? I said, for me, we all need to what contribute within our little knowledge, within our little capacity. That is when I come up with what I called Eyes on the Environment initiative. Then I used to call it Advocate for Green Environment. I started alone. I started planting 3 seedlings with school pupils. For me, I believe the older generation are too skeptical when it comes to climate change because I had encounter with a professor of environment, and it has to do with low carbon. Then after that, like the encounter, we went to his office. I think the ACs are on, the lights are on. I had to ask him, Prof, we just spoke about low carbon, so why are we why is the AC on in your office? He said all those things are theory. So I realized whenever I want to give back to the society, or whenever I want to contribute, it should be what to the children, because if the children get it right, then the future will be much promising, because the older generation believe that climate change it's just a mere statement. So I started going to school. We plant trees together with the pupils. I encourage them to take care of those trees. If those trees are still like
Yeah, if you want
I
to
for me,
promote,
because for me, it's not all about planting the trees. It's about protecting them to maturity, because you plant tree today and tomorrow it will die off. And we all know that the essence of tree planting is to capture the carbon, to capture the carbon, they serve as a carbon sink. So I encourage the students to nurture those trees to maturity, and I promise them I'll be coming back after 6 months. So after 6 months, if I go back to that particular school, then I realize the tree is still standing. Then you go home with a school bag. So that is when the children, children with competition, they were ready, very ready to take care of those trees. They were very active to a point that even when school was not unseasoned, to the extent that the children will still go back to school to water those particular trees, to nurture them, just to go home with the trees. And there is a school that a student, one of his tree that I gave it to him, died off. He has to go extra mile to plant 5 of them because he wants at least one to grow. When I'm back at the school, I will give him that school bag. And some principal will even tell you like parents are sending their school to that particular school because the parents had that in the school. You plant tree and you get like school bag. So you see, for me, it's like protecting the environment, climate action. But at the same time, I'm sending the kids back to school because they believe like when you go to the school, we give them incentive. While planting the trees, we give them exercise books. And when the tree is still standing, we give you school bag. So you see, this is how we all need to act now, because during the Paris Agreement state that we need to limit carbon emission to 1.5 degrees Celsius before 2020. 2030. That is the Paris Agreement. So now, where are we? And people don't get to understand why 1.5 degree. Why 1.5 degree? So I used to tell whenever I went to advocacy campaign, and whenever I'm explaining to university students, NYSC, CAAPers, I used to tell them that 1.5 limit that was set by the United Nations, that we shouldn't exceed it. It means if care is not taken, if we exceed that 1.5 degrees Celsius, I'm telling you, like, it means more climate disaster. What is climate disaster? Like the flood we are experiencing today, if we did not act now, if we exceed that 1.5, it means like the flooding today times two. Imagine what happens to me, like the way like the flood water wash away my farmland, the way the flood water wash away other youths' farmland, it will be what times two. The drought we are experiencing will be what times two. Everyone in the northern part of Nigeria knows like the extreme rise in heat temperature. The temperature is rising like it's just in projection, it's just going up and up and up. So it should be what times two. So imagine during the Ramadan, how we spend the Ramadan. It's very, 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 very hot down here in the northern part of Nigeria. So imagine if it would be times two. So this is the reason that we all get to understand, like, we need to act now. We need to do something now. How do we do something now? As I said, it's not just only planting trees. We need to change our lifestyle. We need to make our lifestyle green. What is green lifestyle? What I normally tell the youths, what I normally tell the school pupils is like, whenever you are not in the room, you make sure you turn off the light when you're not using them. That is going green. Whenever you are not using the sockets, you turn out the sockets. If you go to our neighboring countries, Niger Republic, whenever it is exactly 6 a.m., the lights will go off automatically. There's no how you see lights off. And we need to reduce, reuse, and recycle. How do we do that in our little capacity? Like, we all need to have a polythene bag, a one single polythene bag that will be keeping it in our home. Like, whenever you go into the market, you keep the bag. You go the bag with you. You buy tomatoes. You give it them the polythene bag. They put it inside the polythene bag, and you come back home, put it inside the freezer or anywhere, and put the polythene bag elsewhere. And whenever you're going back to the market, you also use it. The first time I went to the UK, I went to a shop to buy to make my shopping. The first thing they asked me is, "Do you need a bag?" I said, "Yes, I need a bag." And a friend of mine also there. He said, "I also need a bag." They give us the bag, and we make our shoppings, and they put that particular things we bought inside the bag, and we were given our bill, and we paid the bill. When I'm going through the bill, I realized that that particular bag I collected cost me much, much more than the shopping I did. And plus, that particular bag a friend of mine collected. So you see, they are what controlling our how we litter the environment. Because if you know that whenever you buy something, the polythene bag that will be given to you, it will cost you a lot of money. Then you'll be going to shopping with your bag. So what I encourage is, when going green, we need to be going to shopping with our bags, so that there will not be production of those polythene bags, because they take a lot of time to decay, and they litter the environment. We throw them anyhow, and those things we throw anyhow are the ones that will end up inside our drainage systems, and they will block the drainage system. And whenever there is water, then water will find a way to our houses and to our farmlands. This is that. And whenever we're going to like a program, the thing is, if 20 of us will be going with our individual vehicle, will be what generating gas, will be emitting gas. So if you want to go green, For you to go to Kaduna from Kano, you should like use a public transport because a bus will be accommodating, let's say, 5 to 8 people inside the bus. But those particular 8 people, if they are going to Kaduna for a wedding ceremony, all of them will be going with their car. So the gases they are emitting will be what more, much more. So this is another way to add to what reduce the gases. And where necessary, we shouldn't be using car anyhow. If the place is what a trackable distance where you're walking is a trackable distance, you should what take a walk, and that particular you taking a walk will give you what will also serve an exercise, so it will help you very much in what looking fit, and at least you're also what watching your carbon footprints. Your carbon footprints will be what reduced. You will not be because everyone wants to use a car on a car on a car on a car. Everyone is like driving a car to work. So also that is also what leads to the contribution of carbon emission. uh, that aside, going green, there are so many ways to go green, and I think we don't have time to go through all of them. So we need to go green, and there are so many ways to explore to go green. And the other one is what pass the information, educate others, tell others within your vicinity, within your community, even if it is 2 to 3 people, tell them the impact of climate change, tell them what they are doing to cause climate change, and tell them what they need to do to act now. Because just give them the simple example. If care is not taken, if we are not acting, definitely what we are experiencing today, the erratic nature of rainfall will be times two, the flooding will be times two, everything if we exceed the 1.5 limit. So this is it. And to end the long grammar, uh, Africa alone, we in Africa, we contributed less than 4% of the carbon emission. We contributed only 3% of the carbon emission. Africa alone. Then now look at it. We are the one that are faced with the consequences. Why are we facing the consequences? Because we are what? A poor nation. We don't have money, we don't have technology to what adapt and mitigate to this climate crisis. So the global north, the America, China, and what have you, they are the giant producers. The global north contribute this 97%, and they have technology, they have the money. So the consequences are what down to Africa. So that is why we also advocate for climate justice. We also advocate for climate finance because we are helpless. And a part of the Paris Agreement also, the pledge to contribute, I think, $100 billion annually to the global south, like Africa and the other places that are helpless, that cannot adapt and mitigate. So we are yet to see these finances on ground to help us adapt and mitigate. Even though last year in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, uh, the conference comes to an end with what the promises like there will be climate finances to African countries and other global south. And we are yet to see them on ground, and we are yet to see any tangible formula, sharing formula, because they need to be sharing formula. And we Africans, if you get to understand, even if the money comes, like would the money reach to people like you and I that are smallholder farmers? Would the money reach the rural people, those people? Because I had a podcast with a journalist from Paris. They said the problem with Africa is not the climate justice. Even if the climate justice is brought to us, would the money be used by the people that are affected, the grassroots communities, the human, because human are what affected the most, because we leave them in the villages and we go to Lagos, Abuja in search of greener pasture. So if comes and wash away our livelihoods and wash away our houses, our parents and our kids and our wives, our sisters are at the receiving end. Would the money reach them? Are we going to better their life? So I will conclude by saying each and every one is an actor. Each and everyone is a potential climate advocate. We can't fold our arms. We can't say climate action is for the environmentalists. We can't say climate action is for the universities. We can't say climate action is for the activists. Climate action is for you and I. Climate action is for everyone. If we did not act now, climate change will go and on and on and on, and it would affect you and I. And the problem is not you and I, it's our children's yet unborn. The if it is happening, the climate crisis are happening now, and we said if we did not act now, what is happening now in the future it will be times two. Now tell me, how will you love the future of your unborn children, the future of your children to be a catastrophe? Will you want them to have on a variable picture? We need to act now. We need to do the little we can, pass the knowledge, engage in activities like this, organize webinars, organize seminars, talk to what the government, advocate for what environmental protection policies. Let us comply with the policies, let us abide, and they should be what enforcement. Because you will see, you go like on your way, like from a particular state to another, you will see people cutting down what a whole shelter belt. The shelter belts are there to serve as windbreakers. They are there to protect the environment from desert encroachment. They are there to capture this carbon, to serve as carbon sinks. But we are what? Cutting them down because we are helpless. The government needs to come up with uh, empowerments that will teach the masses on how to use like charcoal briquettes in place of the firewood. In Jigawa alone, a research says each and every day they are cutting 1,000 trees. Each and every day, 1,000 trees in only bread baking, in just bread baking, not to talk of other domestic uses. So you see, we need to act now. We don't need to be cutting down trees anyhow, and the government needs to be active much more than before. Last year, since 2012, I've been monitoring what is happening in flooding. You will see each and every year there's what increment, increment, increment. Raining season is fast approaching. And last year, we lost so many people, we lost so many houses, we lost so many farmlands. And up until now, I think there's press release that this is what is going to happen in 2023. And I believe the government are doing little or less to what address these particular issues. We are proactive when it comes to when it comes to post-disaster. We don't give emphasis to pre-disaster. We need to plan ahead. If they said there's going to be flood, we need to plan to address that particular flood. We need to evacuate people that are within the flood plains. We need to embark on empowerment. We need to be active on social media. We need to be active on radios because those people that are in the rural, they listen to the radios. And one good thing I will advise all of us to do as climate actors, whenever we're going for a sensitization advocacy campaign, we should try hard to engage the traditional leaders. The traditional leaders are very key when it comes to climate action because they are very close to the masses. They are respected the most. When I said they are respected the most, whenever they set a rule, don't cut down the trees. People will respect that. They will not cut down the trees. If they said, come out, this plant trees, people will come down and plant the trees. They are the one that send messages to mosques. They are the one that send messages to churches, like protect the environment. They are the one that preach peace. They are the one that preach environmental protection. So all of them, some of them, most of them, if you look at it, they are not aware of climate change. Even if they are aware, they don't know like they need to act now or this is a way. I'll give you an instances. We went on an advocacy to one of the prominent emirs in the northern part of Nigeria. He said the environment is there to his heart, but he have never done anything. He have never done anything to protect the environment. But we going to him, it's a wake up call. He is almost 70, and I am in my early 30s then. Then he was like, as a young person, I told him to do the right thing. He is authority, while I am nothing. But going to his place, I am an authority. I told him what to do, and he promised to do it. I've been monitoring the emirate online, and when it is about to start rain, he planted more than 10,000 trees within his emirate, and he encouraged others to do same. I went to a particular emirate. I preached same thing to them, and I've been watching them closely. It reached a point that the emir suspended a title holder for cutting down only 3 trees within his farmland. He suspended him completely. So you see, me going there, telling them the little I know, telling them what to do, that they need to act now because climate change is real. It's no more news that climate change is real because the consequences, the evidences are within all of us. So he suspended a title holder for doing that. And there is a time that the state government were not being able to raise seedling to distribute it to the community, to the people, to the women. He raised 2 million seedlings out of his personal pockets. He raised 2 million seedlings and gave it out to the communities within. And this is I'm very proud of that because I just talk to him, I just tell him what to do, and he does that. So I'm very proud of that. And one good thing, never estimate your power as a youth. If you know this, read, learn, and have encounter with the like minds like this thing we're having. I I took it to Olam. I believe every one of us knows what Olam is, and I told them they are one of the major emitters because they have trucks that are emitting gases, so they need to do something. They need to cut down their emission. We can't stop production because stopping production means we also go like hunger. We are also inviting like food insecurity. So I advise them to be what, planting trees monthly, annually, and they listen to me. They call on their drivers. They ask me to deliver a lecture on what the cars are emitting and what the emission is doing to the environment. And apart from that, they invited me to Viro University Kano to to like donate 5,000 seedlings, and the seedlings are what, all indigenous, and we plant those 5,000 seedlings together with the students. We went to Zampara Federal University. We also donated 5,000 seedlings together with them and planted with the students. We went to Northwood University. We distributed 5,000 seedlings and we planted together with them. We went to FCE Kano. We distributed 5,000 seedlings and we planted together with what? The students. And what we do is what? A student party. And we started from the BC. This three belongs to the BC, the DVC, the registrar, the VASA, and the HOD Dean, and what have you, then down to the students. Then all of them will be monitoring the growth because no any particular technology was brought as at now that is very effective in carbon capture. It is tree planting. Wherever you go, they will tell you plant trees. You think all those Oyimbos from developed countries that are giving us grants, that are giving us money to organize seminars to what plant trees. If they know that they can go to Mars, the planet Mars, and survive, do you think they will care to bring those things to Africa? No, because they know that climate change is a global phenomenon. You do something here, and the impact is all over. We plant trees in Africa, the impact it's all over in the world. So this is it. We need to act now within the shortest possible period because I think we have only 6 years and months to 2030, and that is when the SDGs will come to an end, and that is when almost all the targets set will come to an end, even though there is projection from to 2050. So in these 6 years, we need to act now because we don't have time. If we don't do something today, then tomorrow will be difficult for you and I and for our unborn kids. Thank you so much. I think I will give the floor to the moderator, and if there's something, I can chip in. Thank you so much. Hello, are you with me? Hello? Aliyu Yunusa.
Yes, we are with you.
Yes, we are with you, sir. Thank you very much. Aliyu, please, can you take over?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dimoti. That is a very, very wonderful presentation and discussion we have. And we have already said it all about acting on climate change and how we can adapt to the effect of climate change. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. We are very, very grateful. What we have next in our agenda is a panel discussion with two of our members. The first is I think I can only see one, Muhammad Yusuf.
Mr. Aliyu, it seems you are in a very noisy place.
Yeah, I was on transit. I am in a car and it just stopped in the park. So,
Mr. Aliyu, why not we take
yeah,
question and answers first so that we can finish up with the guest lecturer? He may have other schedules before going to the panel discussion.
Okay.
So that we can ask members
if
anyone have a question.
Exactly. Yes. Mr. Abdulmajid, even here I have a question that I did like to ask you. If you can hear me, please.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay. The question I'm trying to ask here is how can policy makers and the private sector work together to mitigate the impact of climate change? Because based on what we see on ground, especially in Nigeria, there is a lot, or let me say, a little concern, especially from private sector, with respect to how to mitigate and adapt to the effect of climate change. So, what do you think? What are the strategies and ways do you think policymakers and the private sector can work together in, to reduce the impact and adapt to the effect of climate change?
Thank you so much for this wonderful questions. The thing is, I'm sorry to see, most of our policymakers, I'm sorry to say, they don't know the science behind climate change, and they don't understand it, and they don't want to understand. But as you said, we the youths need to do something. We need to advocate for it. We need to knock on their doors and let them know what they're doing is wrong. And we need to inform them what to do. These are the decisions we want you people to do, and these are things we need to do. We need to educate them. As I started my advocacy, I think I was very active on Facebook for the simple reason, like those policymakers are they're online and their voice are also there online. So, and whensoever I saw them doing anything like I feel like it's affecting the environment, I used to write an article, post it on Facebook. If I have the means, also publish it on newspapers. With that, it reached to them. As I'm telling you, in my own state, when it comes to because this campaign we call Vote for Climate. We do that online, so they know that they don't have the knowledge, the climate knowledge. So I think two of the aspirants, top contenders in my state, like reach out to me, like they want to develop what they call the manifesto. So they want me to come and write on what they would do when it comes to the environment. So you see, this is politics, and we wouldn't want to like engage ourselves fully in politics. But then, if you want to like contribute, you need to be a part of it, even if it is indirectly by telling them what to do. So I set off uh, something because two contenders confronted me, come and help us write manifesto when it comes to environment. So we did what we call citizen charter demand under one NGO. So we would make like these are the demands of people when it comes to agriculture, environment, education, and what have you. So I make sure I wrote things like they should follow, like the best practices, what is happening outside or their country, things that they should be doing and things that they should not be doing. So this citizen charter demand, we took it to all the aspirants. We took it to all the aspirants. Like this is what the people of particular state wants the government. If you are elected on environment, this is what we want you to do. So all of them, they started selecting, picking the ideas. We said these are the demands of the citizens, and when they go to the campaigns, they promise people like they will do this to protect the environment. So you see, so it's a very tedious job, but one needs to like do it with all with what full force. You need to do it by all means. So and even sanitation, I think I spent a month going to the state assembly, like a protest. We'll go there, we tell them we need them to be doing sanitation, monthly sanitation. We need them to protect the environment. And as I'm telling you, now it is a law. Like by the end of the month, they will be what sanitation, and they should be what doing so things in the local governments to protect the environment. So I think we need to create a synergy between ourselves, the private sector, and the government, the policymakers. So I think if it's the job of all of us, we need to be active. Thank you. I hope
Thank you very much.
I answered your question, Ali.
It's really a wonderful answer and description. Yes, you have answered. I will have popped some
Hello,
other statement as
good
well.
morning. Mr. Aliyu, please reduce your radio volume, please. Your radio volume, please reduce it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
You
we
can
can hear
continue.
you now. We can hear you. Thank you.
We can hear you.
I think the best thing is you should kindly move away from where you are
Okay,
actually sitting.
what I'm saying is it's really a wonderful. Okay, I say it's a really wonderful discussion, and I will have a hope that other states in Nigeria will have adopted this strategy, especially here in Kaduna states, even because of our semi-arid weather or climate environment. But if our policymakers and even some of the stakeholders from the private sector will adapt to these strategies, by the grace of God, we will reach the 2030 agenda. Thank you very much. Is there anyone I see?
Yes, I think we have a hand from Lawal Ahmad Halliru. Lawal Ahmad Halliru, can you ask your question, please?
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Lawal Ahmad Halliru, and I would like to thank my leaders, both the CAAP leader and our moderators. And I also want to thank my special guest, Mr. Abdul Majid. I want to ask a question or maybe a suggestion. I don't know if you are with me. Hello.
Yes, we are with you. You can go on.
Yes, the special guest suggest creating awareness. When you want to solve the problem of climate change, awareness creation is an inclusive part of mitigating the challenges of climate change. But however, a lot of awarenesses have been created. It has been created and nothing has been done. So I suggest that why not, like maybe the climate advocates, why not maybe the leaders or the leaders of this program, after successfully finishing the program, why not connect them with NGOs that work with climate, that work, that their main mission is to protect the environment. Why not connect these advocates with such NGOs so that so that they can work together with them to solve the problem of climate change? If not, after the advocacy program, you will see that the climate advocates that have been trained, they will just sit down without even using the knowledge they acquired during the process. So I suggest that in order to solve the problem, creating awareness alone cannot solve the problem, because a lot of awareness have been created. I think these advocates, after successfully finishing the program, they need to be connected with active NGOs that are solving these problems of climate change in order to use the skills they have acquired. That is my suggestion, or is it a question? Thank you. Lawal Ahmed, hello. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam.
Mr. Lawal, Mr. Lawal, your own is more of suggestions, and it's a good one.
Yes.
But then I'll also tell you, like, creating awareness, as you said, is key. But then it will never be much. We need
Enough.
to keep on doing it because we don't even know when we'll be talking, but we don't even know when our voices will be heard. So you would think that maybe you're talking, there's no action, but eventually, in the long run, something will be done because you were talking. And meeting connection, I think this is one of the essence of a webinar like this and any other conference like this, because we get to connect with each other, we get to learn from each other, and you see, for now, I say I know Lawal Ahmad Haliru, I know Aliyu, I know Douglas, I know Saddam. So with this, I think making connection is very key. And as you suggested, I think the organizers will find a way to connect people with those NGOs, even though I know that NGOs have modes of accepting people, as some as volunteers, some as interns, some before they get to go with you. But then what you said is valid, and I think we should give it a try. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for responding to the question. Ali, are you with us, please? We have another hand from, is it Ahmed Muhammad?
Good morning, my fellow actors, and welcome our special guest in terms of Alhaji Abdul Majid. My question here is that you've spoken about deforestation in the causes of climate change in your presentation and the way to mitigate it. So considering our state, Kaduna State, almost 90% of people in Kaduna solely depend on firewood and charcoal. So in process of mitigating, what are the possible cheap solution that will come in place of this firewood and wood and charcoal that we are using, considering the price of gas now, it's almost unaffordable even to the middle class people. So when talking about deforestation, I didn't think there is anything we can do now in order to discourage people from cutting down trees, because there is no any possible alternative that will come in place of firewood and the charcoal that we are using. So I didn't know if there is a way or cheap source of fuel that Abdul Majid will suggest for us, other like those of us that want to go into business to start doing it, because I didn't think the issue of deforestation is going to be tackled any time soon here. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you very much for your question. I think it's not only Kaduna like that are facing a high rate of deforestation. I think it is nationwide, and the government ought to do something. And they knows what to do because if you and the price of the gas is going high, I keep telling people you are directly, not indirectly, sending people into the bush to cut down the trees. So something needs to be done. The prices needs to be like affordable to all, and there's also other means of energy efficient. Even if you use the biocar, it's like we create a charcoal using agricultural waste. You see, the waste we normally generated from our farmlands, when we cut down the maize, when we cut down the greens, I think those particular standing waste, we harvest them and we will use them to make a biocar or to make a briquette. So with that, we can use it for domestic use and other other uses. And there's also stoves like energy cooking stuff like the award. They are energy efficient. Even if you use firewood, maybe you use too little, because you can't tell people stop cutting down the trees when you don't give them alternative. So there are so many alternatives, and the government know of them, but they don't want to like invest there because maybe they feel like they will spend money. But Alhamdulillah, they are listening to the youths, and I think I will link up Aliyu with a friend of mine in Zaria, MS. Even though I don't know if Aliyu knows MS, because MS is doing very well when it comes to like creating alternative means of energy. They create charcoal briquettes using agricultural waste. So with that, I think if maybe the government or we can get a grant, then like the people in this webinar and others, we will like engage them, train train them on how to make these charcoal briquettes, so that we will be like using them as a means of business, as a means of livelihood. And the government, if they will listen, these youths are there in all over. I think I have Aliyu in the Niger, we have Ms in Kaduna, that's who is living in Zaria. We have Muhammad, who is in UB, and we have Abdul Majid, my namesake, who is in Katsina. So all these people, they know how to create these charcoal briquettes, and it's simple. They use like the West, so government can engage them. Even though I know of Kaduna government once contacted MS and they did something, but they should replicate it to other local governments, and they should do it in masses. They should engage the women, so that they know how to do this. So I think it's very easy. There are other alternatives that we would do, and we will reduce the high rate of deforestation if the government is ready. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Abdulmajid, for this wonderful answer. However, I have one more question. In late 2022, I led a team of some advocates, and we visited the State Ministry of Education here in Kaduna State on ways to implement or to insert climate change or climate education as part of the syllabuses with the Universal Basic Education Board. But the ministry there told us that they will look into it. However, up to now, we went further with little inquiries, and there wasn't much of response. We even did, sometimes I remember early 2023, I visited the State Assembly here in Kaduna to meet with one of the lawmakers, and he promised us that he's going to remove the law and all those empty politician promises. In what ways do you think the government or other CSOs or NGOs approach the government and make sure that climate education has been incited and inculcated into the universal basic education syllabus, so that children, even at a smaller age, at a younger age, they will live up to this knowledge? I think this is one of the best ways to achieve the 2030 agenda.
Inshallah. Okay.
Thank you, Aliyu. I think climate education it's a very very vital, because as we said, just the way we give emphasis to English, mathematics, and civic education, for now we need to have what do we call it, enabling environment for everything to be in place. If care is not taken, if we did not educate our people, because just recently I said, like, the policymakers, some of them are skeptical, some of them are not aware of the climate science, some of them are not educated, and other youths believe that climate education is meant for scientists, it's meant for environmentalists. So to kill this notion is by introducing the climate education into our curriculum. We'll be pushing this agenda for a very long period of time, and alhamdulillah, even though because we will be pushing it at the state level, because when it comes to curriculum, the states, they do little when it comes to like bringing new like things into the curriculum. So we realize that, and we'll be pushing at the federal level. And there's Climate Change Act that President Muhammad Buhari, I think, launched somewhere early in 2022. And in that particular act, there is provision that they must introduce climate education into our curriculum. So it's now it's now an act, but it's yet to be implemented. So we keep our fingers and toes crossed and see what will happen. And this coming administration, we don't know who will be like the Minister of Environment, because not environment education, because if the ministry or the presidency said that go ahead and do this, so all the state will comply. But a particular state will find it very difficult to bring a particular new like topic or subject into the curriculum, which is not bad, but they will fail to do it. But look at how civic education come to be. I think just like that, like the federal government said that civic education will be like a compulsory subject, and all the state embrace it. So I think since this is inside the Climate Change Act, so I believe with little push or with more push, if we keep pushing, the actors, climate actors, advocates will keep pushing, will keep writing, will keep going there. I think before the end of this new administration, hopefully, like it will be into our curriculum, because the act it's in place, so it's there. Even though like many people are not aware, you go to state governments, they are not aware that this even the act exists. So the act is there. I think we'll look into it. We'll look at the copy of the act, and we'll share it with the leaders of this particular house. Then we go through them, because if you want to like advocate for something, if you want to query these people, if you want to ask them to do something, you need to be what? Fully grounded. We need to have evidence. You need to read so much more that you have evidences to go and meet them. This is there. This is the act. The act is in place. So you should what use it. So it's there. We'll be there, inshallah. We'll keep pushing since the act is in place. So it's a matter of what implementation. So I think it will soon be in place. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Majid, for responding to the questions. Aliyu, are you with us? I think
Yes,
Aliyu. Okay. Can we cut the questions and answers now? We have just 10 minutes away to the end of the session so that we can proceed with other agendas.
Yes, but the problem is I can see only one of the panelists on board. The other person is not on board. So I don't know how we are going to work with this. However, Mr. Abdulmajid, if you want to join your initiative, how do we do it? I mean, the eyes on the environment.
If you want to what?
He said, if someone wants to join your initiative, how will someone join the initiative?
Okay, if someone wants to join my initiative, it's I think it's free. You just indicate interest, and we incorporate you into the structure. I think I started alone. Then two of my giant colleagues are always there with me. They will follow me all the way to Maiduguri, Yobe, and what have you. And before you know it, we have so many volunteers. One thing with organizations, people believe like it is a money-making venture. I think when I invented during the inception of the organization, I think I have much people. But when they realize I'm using the little money I have to buy seedlings and go on the school advocacy, they all left. Yes, they all left because the youths are like, they want to make easy money, and anything they want to do is they want it to be like money making something. But when things started working the right direction, people believe like they need to come. And I used to tell them it's just to make impact, it's just to make the contribution, it's just to give back to the society. So others will stay and others will go. As at now, I'm telling you, we have more than 1,000 volunteers. We have more than 200 bona fide members. And we have the structure in Jigawa, we have the structure I think, in Kano, we have the structure in Niger Republic, we have the structure in Mali, we have the structure in Chad, because it's all about protecting the environment. So if one wants to join us, I think it's simple. You just need to reach out to me. Maybe Ali will give you my phone. We will put my phone number there or my social media handle there. So you talk to me there. Then we see what we do. The next thing is what we want is your commitments. What we want is your commitments. And if you are committed, then we will nurture you and we'll put you through. Because as I keep telling people, like age is not by our side. If you go to all those United Nations conferences, there are so many opportunities, but the opportunities are for the people between 18 to 35. Which unfortunately, I think my age elapsed that particular bracket. So for me, when I was in Egypt last year, I promised myself the next thing to do is to nurture other youths. But when I said youths, I mean committed youths that are ready to give back to the society, regardless of what they will get or what they will not get. There are grants out there, there are opportunities out there, there are international organizations that are willing to be with to get you on board. But the thing is that age bracket. So if you join, I think my Eyes on the Environment initiative, if you turn out to be committed enough, we have a platform where we nurture like youths there. We send them links to opportunities. We send them links to so many organizations for them to be much better than who we are. I want people to be better than me. I want people to be doing so much well. I used to be proud whenever I saw like youth excel. I used to be proud whenever I show people the way and they pass through the way successfully and be better than me. So Eyes on the Environment is for all of us. I think we don't have anyone in Kaduna. So if you people are here, then we'll make the structure there. Then you guys will be doing little things there. And with time, inshallah, we'll nurture you guys and we'll introduce you to the international community, because the same thing is done to me. As I said, I never reach out to someone like, let's partner, let's do collaboration, give me grants. I never knock on someone. So what I started doing, I'll buy seedlings for 2,000, go to school, make environmental lecture, plant trees together with the student, boom, post them on my social media networks. People get to appreciate what I'm doing. People get to understand what I'm doing. People get to know what I'm doing. It reached a point that someone saw what I'm doing and reached out to me and told me, Abdul Majid, you're doing good locally. What is left for you is for us to introduce you to the international community. So whenever there's opportunity, we'll call you on board. So he invited me all the way to United Kingdom, and I went there and I met so many people. And as someone said before, network is key. And when I went there, I don't just go even if it is a webinar, I didn't just go there, just listened for the sake of maybe like the 2,000 they will send to you, or for the sake of the certificates. Try and make contact, try and make connection. So with that, I went there, I met people from Paris, I met people from USA, and they celebrated you, and they took you all the way to another conference with their own money. So you see, that's it. Just be committed and put it at the back of your mind. You're doing it for humanity. You're giving back to society. It's not a money-making venture. It's not a profit organization. It's a non-profit organization, non-governmental organization. So if you do your things, you'll be much, much better than, I don't know if you know Mr. Climate Olumide Idehu. You've been better than Abu Majid. You'll be better than so many young activists. I think a friend of mine from Niger, Ali Sadiq, was celebrated by Unity Bank this month. They like publish his work on their site, and that's a wonderful thing to do. For you, like the government, to call you on board, come and give us your professional advice. It's something good. So I think we need to like put it at the back of our mind that we need to give back to the society the little we know. We need to protect the environment, and it's not a money venture something. So if you do that, I think God will like bless your hustles. That's it. But if you said I'm into this just to make money, I'm telling you, you're going nowhere. Thank you.
I think thank you very much for making us know more about you. I don't know if there is any your social media handles so that the participant can go to your organization handles. I don't know. Thank you.
For Facebook, you search Eyes on the Environment Initiative, and you can search my name of Majid Abubakar. For Instagram, you search EEI_Nigeria. I think it's the same in Twitter. And you can search Majid Abubakar, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And my phone number is 08038660168, and my email is abdul3910@gmail.com. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Abdulmadi, if you can help us draw the social media handles in the chat box, I think it will be appreciated. And I'm calling to all our participants, please use your name, your original name as your username, please. I have someone using the name iPhone for attendance purposes. So please use your name as your is, is there anyone who wants to add something? Because we only have 1 minute left to close the discussion.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can go on.
Yes, we can hear you, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to comment our presenter. That has been a wonderful presentation. Even though we don't have enough time, I only got 1 minute more. I just want to actually, this is going to take long though. I just want to commend all of us on creating time to participate in this webinar. And maybe what I will be discussing subsequently, maybe I will share it in our group because it is very important as regards to climate change. I want to understand that globally, when we look at people who are making success in climate change advocacy, implementation, creating solution and innovation, this has to be with data acquisition And the last I checked, I want to believe that Africa in entirety is still lagging behind in this aspect, which I want us to dwell more on it subsequently, maybe in our next webinar, if at all we'll be having that opportunity. I just want to create this awareness so that at least we have this at the back of our mind. And maybe with time, we'll get to look critically into data acquisition in terms of climate change and of course, utilization, making inferences, because all this we've been discussing for the past 1 hour actually relies on data. If you don't know the extent at which climate change is actually changing your environment, you wouldn't know what and how much your awareness actually have been working for you, how much have your innovation been working for you, the solution you've been putting into this serious menace, how much has it been working to your own personal or to your own territory. So this is just a call out information for all the advocates, and maybe we'll subsequently discuss that in a group. Thank you very much. Thank you, our moderators. Thank you, our presenters, and thank you, everyone. My name is Hamza Mohideen again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. I would like to thank our presenter for a wonderful session and for giving an insight in the theme of the discussion. I equally want to thank our moderators and all the climate actors for gracing this August gathering. And I hope we implement what we learned today and put it into use. Please, this is to remind us that our next activity will be the community-based project, which we are starting within the week. Let's try and grace it and ensure we participate fully in the activity so that we can make the state proud and be impactful in our doings. So thank you very much. The moderator, Aliu, can close the session. We are ought to close it by 10:30 at the dot. So please, Aliu, can you close the session?
Yes, Mr. Insa. Thank you very much. It has been a very wonderful discussion and impactful one. The discussion, the presentation we have from Mr. Abdulmajid is a very wonderful one. He has shared with us his experience and the need for us to act now in order to mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change. We are very grateful and we will keep in touch. If there is any other need for us to bring Mr. Abdulmajid back, we will hopefully do that, and we hope that Mr. Abdulmajid will grace us once again with his presence to give us another impactful presentation. Thank you very much. And we thank the organizers of this event, the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, SDSN, and the Sustainable Development Solutions Network Youth, SDSN Youth Nigeria, for facilitating this event. Thank you very much, the participants, and any other person who will make this webinar possible. Thank you very much.